Hello, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another direct to YouTube special. This one funded by my good friend Bentley, who wanted to see TES in action. And as it so happens, my good friend Bryant Cook, kind of the TES master, was willing to get on stream with me, or I guess get on recording with me, and help me play through this league. Bryant, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty excited to be here, Phil. I've turned against my fellow stormtroopers, and I'm now helping out the Thalia Ewoks. I guess I don't know words.
Am I still an Ewok if I'm playing the dirty combo deck tonight? I feel
I
like
think
I
that
have
means that
turned
you're a
traitor.
Sith.
I'll take that. All right. So most people who play Legacy are pretty familiar with Ant and TES, sort of the two dominant storm decks of the format. What specifically makes this version of TES, version 11.9, interesting or unique? What are you fighting against?
Well, the main deck has been stock for some time now. Like it doesn't really change that much unless you're trying out Rite of Flame or no Rite of Flame. But the sideboard has a change. You'll notice there's no copies of Chain of Vapor. That is because we are trying triple Thoughtseize, a card that's a little bit more flexible. Chain of Vapor is primarily for permanent based decks, like decks that would play Thalia, but instead we have Thoughtseize, which can be boarded in against the Thalia decks to preemptively discard, a Deafening Silence and Mindbreak Trap of Thalia, or it can come in against decks like Doomsday. So it just gives you that little bit of a hedge and more matchups while being um, less powerful in specific matchups.
Yeah, I like it. I also really like the triple Carpet of Flowers. I know I'm beating the dead horse here, but every time Carpet of Flowers is in one of my deck lists, I just go like, man, that card is so good.
And it is. If Rug keeps on as being as dominant as it is, I'm gonna up it to 4.
Oh, man after my own heart. So, how does the deck feel with a bunch of cards that are kind of dead in game one versus a lot of decks? So, I look at this and I see Veil of Summer and Defense Grid, and against a lot of like the Thalia style decks, the Maverick style decks, those things aren't really doing much. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. And it's that Defense Grid's never truly dead. I mean, it's not great, but it always turns on Metalcraft. You have to look at the silver linings. So it stops Metalcraft, and in post-board games, I end up leaving in one copy of Defense Grid to stop Mindbreak Trap. And then Veil of Summer, the absolute floor of this card is that it imprints to Chromox. There will be matchups where even where Veil of Summer might not be great, you can still cycle it. It also helps get through Chalice of the Void. So if you're facing someone who plays Chalice for 0, you can play Veil of Summer, play your artifacts through Chalice, or even, the non-counter clause, I just want to reiterate, is not only for blue and black. You can also use it to get through Chancellor of the Annex, or even a resolve counterbalance. So let's say Veil of Summer somehow sneaks through. It stops counterbalance the rest of the way. So it's a very, very powerful card.
All right. So, there's one other thing in the sideboard here that I've never played with before. Tell me about Peer into the Abyss.
Oh my, Phil, you're in for a treat. This is the biggest addition to the Epic Storm. This is going to be a hot take. Uh, Maybe that's not true because of Wishclaw Talisman, but that card is better than Ad Nauseum. Like it is
Oh,
really good. That said, the PTQ Thursday, which would have been yesterday, Phil, I've probably played 1,500 matches with Peer. Um, give or take a few, but it's roughly in that ballpark. I've had my first time where Peer did not win the game after it resolved.
okay.
I
That's
was,
that's a pretty strong statement then.
yeah. I mean, it's we joke that it's deterministic, but I found that the fail rate is roughly 1 in 1,500 matches, and I just happened to hit it during the PTQ.
Fair. All right, Bryant. So you have this reputation as being the TES guy, but you've really been branching out recently. Before we get started playing with the league, what else are you doing on your channel now?
Well, the Epic Storm YouTube channel, we're playing more formats. So the Epic Storm only exists in Legacy, but I'm playing other decks in Legacy as well. Basically, we're playing combo decks in every format and several combo decks in every format. So if you're interested in watching combo centric content, boom, said it correctly. Head over to the Epic Storm YouTube channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, etc. I mean, Phil and I probably share a lot of subscribers, if I'm being honest, but if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate it. Trying to hit 3,000 this month.
Nice. Well, best of luck to you, and best of luck to us in this league. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you would throw us a like before this all begins, I really would appreciate it. And if you're looking for Bryant's content, I'll make sure I have all of that linked either in the video description or as a pinned comment. All right, Bryant, I see an opening hand that looks pretty unexciting to me. I don't think we're doing anything quickly here. Is this a mulligan?
Well, that's a misconception about the Epic Storm. People see hands like this and they think, well, I'm not winning on turn one or turn two. I should probably mulligan. This hand's fine to me. One, you get to lead on Tropical Island into Ponder, which makes you look like a fair deck. And then you have your turn two claw if you want it. Veil of Summer is great against the blue decks. Like, especially like this is a hand that I would love to keep against the Delaware deck.
All right.
What would you do with this?
Um, The LED is interesting to me with Wishclaw Talisman as being a way to like start really getting mana. I don't really love the ad nauseum here. I would be inclined to go ad nauseum LED Bloodstain Mire, not Shuffle.
I would agree. As long as we're fetching away that ad nauseum before we draw it, I'm in.
Yeah, I think something that's hard about like playing a combo deck for the well, this isn't the first time for me, but playing a combo deck that you're not used to playing is that you don't have the heuristics built in for when or what an opening hand should look like and how you play that out.
So here I'm getting Enchantress vibes. So what I would be looking to do is just jam. So normally I like to pair my lands, Phil. So if you have Tropical Island, I like getting Badlands, but typically we're trying to get Underground Sea Taiga. And I'm gonna, find its complement, jam that Wishclaw Talisman, LED, Opal, Ponder.
Okay, just to throw this out there, this also could be like some sort of Nick Fit deck, right?
Sure.
I think the logic is probably the same though.
Yeah. I'm not expecting like another bright side here is they probably don't have main deck Force of Vigor.
Right.
So this is getting those things in play.
And we do just go ahead and just fetch that bad card away, right? We don't want to like ponder first or anything.
No, definitely not. You can actually do everything this turn as long as you lead on Wishclaw. I just hope that we 5-0 so that way you get a taste of the dark side.
That's fair. Oh baby.
These are Magic the Gathering cards.
Chrome Mox on bottom, take LED this turn and play it out.
So I have a question. Do you think our opponent's playing blue?
No.
All right. So we can add Nauseam right now if you don't think they're playing blue.
Wishclaw just one to oh, it is just one to activate. Yeah,
It's a very, very powerful card.
I think we go for it.
Let's do it. Remember that slow hand that we kept, Phil?
Yeah, this is turn 2 still, right? Yeah, okay. Ad nauseum.
So, all right, we've revealed the first bad card. There's two cards in the deck that you're looking to dodge. We've revealed the first one, so now we can flip safely down to 4 life.
Okay.
All right. So we have a decision to make here. Do we think that our opponent's going to kill us if they untap?
I find
Um,
that very unlikely.
I would agree. So you either keep comboing on, or you keep flipping and risk death. But then realistically, a Chrome Mox kills our opponent, a Lion's Eye Diamond kills our opponent, a Petal kills our opponent. Um, there's a lot of cards that do it, but I think it's probably just safer to stop.
Okay, so we have 5 total mana right now, which is one short of just getting goblins.
Well, the opal in your hand is active.
Oh, right, because we'll lose this one. All right.
Correct.
So you just want to stop here?
That's what I would do. I would just play out the pedal, pass, make sure you discard the echo.
All right. The other card probably doesn't matter much. Defense grid.
I would do Veil.
Sure.
Um, like I said, the floor of defense grid is that it turns on Mox Opal. So if for some reason this game goes long and you do end up needing protection,
I mean, I haven't mapped it out, but I assume that we kill or get close to killing next turn. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
9 is the magic number for Pier.
I guess we do have the ninth
Ooh,
mana
you're right. It
if we
was
play
the Nick
Veteran
Fit.
Explorer or Verdant Catacombs.
No!
Huh. Uh,
Now it's looking a little grim. We still have the Echo in the graveyard for what it's worth.
yeah, like they can take our Dark Ritual.
That's
Um,
fine. I mean, we're gonna get the swamp out of our deck with this Veteran Explorer.
yeah, I've played enough of the bad decks that I can usually smell Nick Fit coming.
It does have that odor.
All right, and our opponent does have blue in their deck. I don't know that they actually have counter magic, but they have blue.
They took the fence grid. It's a little wild.
It is. So like the blue that I usually see from these Nick Fit sorts of decks is usually for things like Leovolds, like that sort of mid-rangey stuff, rather than for counter magic.
Yeah.
But maybe they're taking that to keep me off of Metalcraft. No, Dark Ritual just produces more mana than that.
Not anymore.
Oh, this doesn't reveal it, does it?
Nope.
Because it gets anything.
But I will gladly take a Wish Claw back. And I love the Veil draw. All right, Phil. So I'm going to let you go first. What do you think is the line here?
Um, is this the sort of thing where because our opponent took the defense grade, we lead on the Veil?
I'd rather not give away that we drew it,
Okay.
personally.
Um,
I
I guess
think playing your land's pretty free for what
yeah.
it's worth.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. I don't have 10 to like Burning Wish for Pier with Veil back up. I guess I do if I play the Opal out after tapping it.
They do act as lotus petals.
Yeah, I'm not sure what like whether I'm supposed to approach for an Echo or just approach for a Wish Claw based talisman thing. What are your thoughts?
So here, I generally, like, if I was playing this, I would lead on Rite of Flame Dark Ritual. You usually want to play your Rite of Flames first. I know our opponent's probably like 99.9% not playing Days, but it's free to do. Like it's just good sequencing to lead on right, just in case. And like it creates those heuristics where you make the right play more often because of it.
Oh yeah, you want to have that muscle memory for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would play Dark Ritual, and see if they force it. And then um, if they do, you veil, and if they don't, you don't. I would float a green off the opal, play your other opal, cast Veil, Flashback Echo. And then you're in a position where you have a bunch of Storm Count, you have a bunch of mana, and you have a tutor in play for Tendrils. At that point, we need to decide if we're trying to beat Veil of Summer or not. which could be a card that they got with the claw, but we'll make that decision when we get there.
Okay. All right. And you say go ahead and cast the veil.
I would. Like, it's entirely likely that your opponent got a Veil of Summer with their Wishclaw Talisman activation, but on the off chance that they have a Force of Will in their deck, this is the better line. A
I'm sorry, Arctic
so
Merfolk? What?
they're Lurin.
Alurin then? Okay.
Yep, they're Lurin. So well, they definitely don't have a main deck Veil of Summer. So here, Wishclaw can actually be activated at instant speed,
So we can grab another veil.
Veil, but I would tap your Opal for green right now,
Okay.
and then use the Claw, probably using a red mana. I've never seen Murray's Guile or Miri's Guile, I'm sorry, in this deck before.
Same.
Alurin. Brainstorm is a good pickup.
Hello.
Uh, Um,
We have 7 total mana. Is it better to, like, play out the Wish Claw and then Echo?
well, so if you hypothetically, if so, we have 3 mana in play, which is enough to play and activate Wishclaw, and then you have 4 mana floating, which is Tendrils.
Hmm.
So that's 7, 8, which is 1 storm short. That said, if we brainstorm into literally anything that makes a mana, that's a deterministic kill.
Okay. All right, so there we
Ding!
go.
Easy game. Phil, you're a master. Look what you've been
Yeah,
missing this entire time by playing
it's
Thalia.
totally me.
I believe it. It was you the whole time, Phil. Think of what you could do with Rite of Flames in your deck. So, back in the days of the Leovold bug, this was the strictly worst tendrils. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
What was the Leovold bug?
So it only worked with the Scourge Tendrils of Agony, but if you clicked on your opponent's icon instead of the same target, they would only get one Leovold trigger.
Our opponent says, I think I had it if I didn't give the talisman back. That was dumb of me. I mean, hard to say. I don't know what the rest of their hand looks like.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have a lot of experience of the Alurin versus TES matchup. Carpet of Flowers is intriguing to me, but they probably have enough non-island basics that this isn't just a slam dunk, and this isn't letting me play around soft permission like it does in a lot of other decks.
Yeah, we also saw Basic Forest and Swamp. I'm willing to bet that the blue is a light splash. The only thing I'm really interested here is possibly Abrupt Decay. I don't know if these learn lists play hate creatures like Collector Roof, but that's probably all I would be looking to do. In fact, because we're up a game, I would probably even submit the same configuration. And if we need to make adjustments for game 3, I'd do that.
Okay.
Like our deck's already perfect. Like your deck is built to optimize your game plan. So in a vacuum, our deck is perfect. And you only make adjustments when you need to. I don't actually think TS is perfect, but hypothetically, like it's optimized for doing its thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. This has a lot of mana. No protection, no ability to sculpt. Has 3 lands. I can make land drops for a few turns. I would keep this. What about you?
I would definitely keep. Um, I mean, we have till turn 4. Wishclaw Talisman can act as your protection as well if you draw another action spell. Like, the flexibility of that card is what makes it really good, compared to Infernal Tutor.
Okay. Is this a matchup where I just hold everything until I have a reason to play it?
I'd be a little bit of afraid of Force of Vigor. That said, we have seen Cabal Therapy. I'd probably lead on Bloodstained Mire to sell the lie that we have Veil up.
Okay, and then just pass.
Yeah. Wow.
Ah.
Okay.
All right.
Please name tendrils. Please name tendrils. Please name tendrils.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. So, am I correct that now our only way to win is get or tutor for the main deck tendrils?
I would agree with that.
Okay. So that probably means we just need to have a natural storm turn. So like Volk pass, or do I just
That
play out the Wish
honestly, I
Claw?
think the Meddling Mage changes things a little bit.
Okay.
Here, I would play Petal, Opal, um, play a land, and then Claw. So this way, if they try to force your claw, your Wish Claw Talisman, you can veil it.
Okay. Petal, Opal, land, Wish Claw. Okay, that just got in play. The storm is 4. Not enough. So now we just pass.
Yeah. Next turn, we have a protected ad nauseum, which is, solid. You don't have an upkeep stop?
Nope.
Oh, you live dangerously. Uh,
Trust me, the decks that I play don't need them.
so I would have fetched on my upkeep there, just to reduce the odds of drawing a land.
Okay.
We drew something worse than land. But that's what I would have done. Here, I think it's pretty free to just go like Lion's Eye Diamond, Cat's Veil of Summer. See
Okay.
if they'll force this.
Just off the Mox Opal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you have a decision to ask yourself here. Do you want to risk revealing the last 4 fetchable lands to ad nauseum, or do you value the life points higher?
Um, I don't have the reps to have a feel for that. My inclination is that we have one card that we need to hit 100% of the time, and so I would want to fetch here.
So I would not fetch just because I think that one life, like one, the odds that we reveal all 4 are pretty slim. And two, you always have brainstorm to put a land back just in case you like, let's say you have a really bad ad nauseum, or what we in the storm community joke about as a McKinley ad nauseum. Sorry, Alex. And it just increases your odds of winning even when they're bad.
All right. Is this getting cracked for black?
It is.
All right. Here we go.
Alex has by far the worst ad nauseums I've ever seen. Alex could be at 30 life with 10 mana floating in it. He'd find a way.
And leave the Bloodstained Mire and just do it with everything else, leaving a Petal.
Correct. So the card that I'm sniffing out from the opponent here is likely a Veil of Summer.
I don't know that we beat that.
Of course we. Oh, they have it on Burning Wish. That's true. Okay. So if that's the case, um, we have a backup
Okay.
or a a way of hypothetically beating it. I mean, it's going to be very difficult, um, but we would want to essentially echo and then try again next turn.
Okay. Have a lot of mana.
I mean, this is lethal,
Okay.
assuming that you know they don't have the bad card.
Is there an advantage to continuing?
Technically, it's I guess we can't fetch that way. Let's just stop here. I would play the other opal, then cast brainstorm.
Off of Petal? No. Off Opal.
The opal. Yep. So by doing this, we're increasing our odds of not needing to discard our hand to Lion's Eye Diamond.
Okay. Just junk the Burning Wishes here.
Yeah. Actually, I would keep one to imprint.
Okay. Then just junk like the swamp.
Sure.
Land matter.
See, I guess.
Yeah. Romox imprint, Burning Wish. Right. And
Yep.
then start casting Rite of Flames until our opponent does something that makes me sad.
I mean, we have to make him have it.
Yep.
Their deck is full of green cards and creatures, so there's a chance that they don't. I mean, I don't know why anyone would put green cards and creatures in their deck, but people do it.
All right. So just play the Wishclaw Talisman now.
Hmm.
Crack for black and do it.
I think this is going to sound crazy, Phil. It is free here to sacrifice Lotus Petal for blue, or I'm sorry, crack Petal for blue, put Ponder on the spec, and then crack Lion's Eye Diamond for black. Because that way, if you hit the tendrils, you don't need to use Claw.
Okay. So cast Brainstorm, hold priority.
Nope, the Ponder.
Oh, sorry.
Pon,
Ponder.
yep,
All right. Cast Ponder, holding priority. Crack this for black.
yep. Basically, this just gives you an extra resource as a failsafe, and you're going to discard the Ponder anyway.
Grab the defense grid, I guess. Or
Yeah. No.
all right.
That was bad.
Yep. So we're done.
Um, Bummer. Yeah, I would probably go to game 3. I think we're probably not winning this. Theoretically, we can echo, um, but it's gonna be difficult.
Okay. I'm fine with respecting our time. So now we
All
want
right.
the 2 abrupt decays, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. So we
Um,
saw that our opponent was like pretty quick. So if you wanted to be like a big brain person, you could also board in the group shot, because they would get through Veil and Meddling Mage,
okay.
and you have Massacre on the board for Meddling Mage if for some reason they named Tendrils or Wishclaw.
Okay.
So I'm not against boarding in the grape shot here.
So what comes out? Is this like a Veil of Summer sort of situation? Or do we trim some artifact mana?
So this is a little bit strange. I'd honestly board out the tendrils because we're boarding in the grape shot, and it gets like we know that our opponent has Veil,
Okay.
and then I would probably shave one opal and one chrome. Looks great to me.
I assume this is fine. We just need to find a payoff card and we go.
I mean, that game looked very different from our game 1.
Yeah. Underground Sea. Ponder.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Shuffle.
So that's half of what we want. I would honestly keep this.
Okay.
So I
Put
would not
Chromox
draw
on
the
bottom.
Chromox. Yep. And then next turn, fetch, cast Ponder.
Yeah, whatever our opponent's combo finishes, I don't think it actually matters too much.
That's how you jinx us, Phil.
I
All right.
think we
So,
die
like,
to hate bears or veils, not to anything that casts 4 or more mana.
like I said in the first game, we usually want to pair Underground Sea with Taiga because it gives you all four.
Okay. And you like undering after fetching?
Yep. Because at this point, we're looking for just action spell. So we want to increase those odds. Like our ponders and combo are a little bit different.
Junk.
Yeah, I'd chip that. Okay. Gives us a little bit of protection here. I
All
would
right.
just pass. I've done the math, and you're roughly like 34% every turn to draw one of your 8 tutors or 8 cantrips. We've used 2 so far, but then again, we've gone through our deck a little bit, so it stays roughly the same.
Yeah, that sort of thing is so nice to know.
Like I've had every stretch of the anomaly of like, okay, I'm 34% to here, but I need to hit it this turn, and then you draw exactly the tutor that you need. But I've also had the okay, we're 34% and I don't hit by turn 9, which is like a 0.02.
All right.
That's fine.
We're just passing.
Yep,
Do we veil a Cabal Therapy if it gets pointed at us?
I definitely would.
Okay.
Our opponent put their Taiga into play.
It's a Savannah.
Yeah, but it's their Taiga if they're not playing red.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a deed.
That's very interesting.
This is need what is it? Nick Fit Allurin? How do you combine those? Nick Allurin? Allurin Fit? It's probably Allurin Fit. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, that sounds good. I assume we don't like decay this. We just try to play around that to the best of our
Yeah,
ability.
we can beat that card. Okay. Um Honestly, I would just play out Curl Mox.
Do I imprint nothing?
Yeah. It's an artifact for Metalcraft.
So what are you thinking about their hand right now? Like, Deed is not the sort of thing that makes a hand keepable. So I think they have either a counterspell or a veil, something of that ilk.
I would guess a force because they were willing to tap out. So if they had a veil, they were probably not going to play the deed there.
I agree. We got Leovold. Intuition.
So fun fact, you
We can
can veil
veil
this.
that. Do we
I
veil
probably
that?
I probably would.
Yeah, I don't know what that is going to do exactly, but I know that I won't like it.
Well, they could get triple therapy.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yikes.
Play out a
A pedal
pedal.
pass. Yeah.
I
I
was,
would like to draw one of those brainstorm cards.
I was told there would be storming.
Hey, we did some of that.
Yeah, we did. This has actually been a pretty intricate dance of a game, or a match, rather.
All right, we have 18 turns. Now they're representing the Veils.
All right.
Brainstorm. All right, not the worst. Controversial. I would just move to discard and get rid of the Rite of Flame.
Okay. So, is your plan like, do we end up answering the Pernicious Deed now that we've drawn the Wishclaw Talisman?
No, we can just beat that card. It makes the double LED a little bit awkward, but we can definitely beat that. Like the only thing the deed stops is our opponent can sacrifice deed to stop like a double LED, but we don't need both LEDs to win.
Okay.
Right? I mean, if they have it, they have it. But we can also like if their plan here is to like Cavern Harpy. Okay. Well, let's see what they get. If they get Harpy, we can always decay Recruiter.
So they're going that route of stringing together all the recruiters before actually getting the payoff card. It's
Yep.
free to do so. There's the Arctic Merfolk.
Is Arctic Merfolk a blue creature or just any creature?
A creature.
Okay.
Can we actually interrupt this here now?
Um so with the Cavern Harpy resolved, I don't know if we can because they can just pay a life and return Harpy.
Yeah. And the returning for this is done as a cost. So is this the point where we just grab Arctic Merfolk and hope they don't have another similar effect?
Well,
Oh no, they could just,
you want to get Harpy on the stack.
yeah,
Like that's
because
the best
otherwise
way to
they
do it.
pay
If it's
again.
in play, yours dead.
Yeah.
So this would be the spot.
Doesn't feel good because they can probably combo off some different way. I
Yeah,
assume that there's at least some degree of redundancy here.
I'm just so shocked that the deck ended up looking like this based on what we saw previously. Like our game one,
Oh
I
yeah, it was
wouldn't have.
just totally night and day different from games 2 and 3.
Yeah, if we had seen a white splash, I definitely would have boarded it in the decays. But I think we still would have gotten hit by the veil, unfortunately.
So our opponent might not kill us like literally this turn, but they will probably just draw enough cards that they can pass with like at least one Force of Will effect up, which we probably won't beat.
Well, if we draw Grape Shot,
Yeah, I guess that's true. We could just naturally draw Grape Shot or Tendrils.
well, Tendrils is in our sideboard, but Grape
Okay, so
Shot's what
just
we're
Grape
looking
Shot.
for. Well, they might also be. Actually, I think they played a land, but we'll see.
Yeah, they played Tundra this turn, I believe. So we won't have
One
to worry
time
about
Grape
Veil.
Shot, they'll never even see it coming.
I think these sorts of blue mid-rangey combo decks might be okay right now. There's a lot of people dirtling around with Uro, and like having an I win button is totally reasonable in those pseudo blue mirrors.
Well,
Oh,
we did see that Food Chain won the showcase. I believe it was Rug Food Chain with Recruiter of Imperial Recruiter.
yeah, I like Food Chain better than Alurin personally. I feel like
Mm,
your cards are better on average than they are in Alurin.
I would agree.
Just like a tighter combo package.
Well, the fact that Food Chain gets to abuse the 7 forces while, not actually being disadvantaged is really nice.
Okay, now that our opponent has Uro Cavern Harpy, they can just indefinitely draw their deck, right?
Correct.
Are
They
we
may not have lethal, though, is the thing. Like, I think we're supposed to just sit here, unfortunately. Like, we do have an odd of winning if we just draw the grape shot.
okay? I think I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording here, and we'll just show YouTube the end result. Okay, it's taken a handful of clicks, but our opponent has found a Parasitic Strix, and now they are going to loop that and kill us, so we are dead this game. I'm going to go ahead and concede, but I will draw the top card to see if it was Grape Shot.
Oh, it was grape shot! Ah!
It was not Grape Shot. Okay,
Welcome back to Thraben University. I'm Phil Gallagher, joined by Bryant Cook. Bryant, what do you think of this hand for match number 2?
looks like it makes a shit ton of mana. I'm in. I haven't actually
Bryant,
counted how much mana it makes, but
I'm new to the Epic Storm, but I think that this hand casts ad nauseum.
I think so. I'm also just on the play. All right, it's gonna be good. All right, so I'm just gonna do this. So the first one is +1, and then it's +2, and then it's +3, right?
3 Red of Flames is 7 mana.
Okay.
So I'd probably lead on right or let's lead on ritual just to make sure that it resolves.
Okay.
Otherwise you're just burning 2 resources. And I would actually play Claw before the third one because if they forced you'd have something. But I guess we're probably realistically we lose anyway.
No.
All right. I think that we should take our lumps and at least get some information on what our opponent's playing instead of just conceding.
Yeah, I agree. Once we know what deck they're on, I'm comfortable conceding. Uh, Realistically, we're not going to come back from going all in. Oh,
I
probably
mean,
Delver, but
I would keep in that hand and do the
hmm,
same thing realistically. Like it just so happened our opponent was playing a blue deck. So the math checks out that your opponent's roughly 60% to have forced blue card nowadays. That said, they're not 60% to be a blue deck. So you weigh the two of them combined and make an educated decision.
all right. Are we comfortable conceding now?
Yeah.
I assume your plan for Delver, period, is the same.
I would bring in the 3 copy of carpets and then 1 abrupt decay board outright. Basically, here you're just making your mana terrific and then having a backdoor out to collect roof. Um, a lot of lists aren't playing that style of effect anymore, but doesn't hurt to have. And if I had the option, like let's say I had 4 carpets in the board, I just wouldn't board in the decay at all. I'm of the mindset that like you can power through either one of in some games anyway, so just pretend they don't have it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Like it just feels really bad when you draw abrupt decay and they don't have the oof, and you're like, I have this clunky 2 mana card in my hand against the Stifle Wasteland deck.
So, how much do you actually get to play around Stifle? Is it more of a like hope they don't have it a lot of the times thing?
Sometimes, like there's ways that you can maneuver through it, but if your opponent is like really cognizant of it, um, I probably said that wrong, but they can just like leave it up, which becomes an issue. But like sometimes you'll be able to get them to tap low. Ooh, I saw the 2 green cards before my eyes saw the 4 red ones. I was like, yes, and then I was like, oh crap,
we we can't keep this, right?
no, unfortunately, this is fine. What would you bottom here?
Bloodstained Mire.
I would bottom pedal. Lands are super valuable.
Okay.
And Mire is your green source, by the way, for those sweet, sweet coppets. I'd probably lead on Mire, just a land that doesn't get wasted.
Okay. Yeah, I would have kept the pedal under the hope of going off more quickly, but like I think you're right. I think lands are just too good.
And we have the aggressive start. So here we want to draw protection or carpet. All right, I don't mind that either. I would just go Delta Go. So one nice thing about having Echo of Aeons is your payoff spell is your life total matters less. So we can take a few hits from this Delver without it mattering that much. And part of the reason that Pier is so good, by the way, is that you can win the game at 2 life very, very easily if it resolves. They're in Grixis.
Is this card
They
good?
had their one of. Okay. So the nice thing is we do have Pulverize in the board. That said, we have to get Pulverize to resolve. Okay. We're flooding out a little bit here, but I would just go C pass.
Okay. So at what point do we do something like Dark Ritual into Echo, just hoping to get the first counterspell out of their hand?
Um,
Is that something you would even consider, or is that just like hemorrhaging too many resources?
well, I'm also like trying to not play into days is part of it. And that line plays into days unless you're willing to wait until you get a bunch of lands in play.
Okay.
Like I tend to like I'm willing to just sit here and take some damage if it means that my spells are going to resolve.
Yeah, without like a Gurmag Angler or a Sprite Dragon or a Young Pyromancer in play, we're not under too much pressure. Now the pressure will ramp up pretty quickly.
I would just play Swamp
Swamp
Pass. And
Pass.
if we could stop drawing lands, I would I'd like that.
Is there a world where we try to Grape Shot and clear the board?
I just don't think it's going to resolve is the issue. Like if you go Ritual Burning Wish here, like I just think that's getting forced and now you're down to your resources. Like I would just pass. Like
Okay.
I think we probably need to draw Veil of Summer. That's step one. And then well, like we can take some damage. Like I'm not worried about their creatures. Like I think if you're just overly concerned with dying to creature beats, you're not playing this game correctly. And I'd be looking to pulverize away the null rod and then um, go from there. Like a big thing that you can learn from playing Storm Combo is just like you get so much equity if you just wait.
They have a draw step stop now.
They're gonna surgical or underground sea.
Are they gonna click us?
I would just play bulk pass.
I'm a little confused about that stop.
I think that they were considering surgical sea. I'm not even joking.
That makes my insides hurt.
So he drew another effective land this turn.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be maybe pretty good about playing around soft permission, and like this Delver is the ultimate scumbag, just like refusing to flip, and I thank it for that.
I mean, not to give you too much credit here. Okay, so the back half of Echo no longer works, but the click call might not be crazy, only because Delver hasn't flipped all game.
Yeah.
All right. So what's nice is the cage does get blown up by pulverized as well if we can get pulverized to resolve.
Taiga carpet.
Yeah, for sure. So honestly, I don't know if that cage even matters. If we were on the pulverized plane the whole time. That said, if this taiga gets wasted, the pulverize only the hard way is open.
Oh no. All right.
We can also hypothetically shift gears if we draw a protection spell and maybe start to look at Pier instead.
Okay.
Um, but we would need to start drawing um, some goodness.
And I assume we're just passing the turn again, right? We're not
Yeah.
safe yet. I do feel like we only have to beat one counter spell. Like this Delver.
It's not very well trained. Like, this is a bad Delver.
I mean, I guess it means they've been drawing stuff like this, uh, which impacts the matchup from a different angle.
Yeah. I mean, when you put those cards into your deck, you're going to draw them, right? So, like, they put a bunch of cards that don't work well into their deck with Delver. It's why, like, you'll see minds like Rich Cali would play more surgicals than cages for that reason.
I was posting about this on Twitter earlier today. I think a lot of people are not thinking about their graveyard hate very much right now.
I saw that.
I
You were mentioning Relic over Leyline. It's an interesting thought. I don't have any strong opinions. That said, Leyline certainly goes well into the Chalice Heathen decks. Boom! Insult.
all right, good with.
Um,
So this is about the time where a lightning bolt starts to potentially kill us.
I'd be willing to bet, like, a lot of Delver players board out bolts.
Okay.
That said, if we're considering a Pier at any point, um, I mean, we could try to force through the Pulverize. I just don't.
Is it better to wait one more turn and try to get another card? And if they have it, they have it.
So they're likely flipping Delver, and then we're taking 6. So we could go to 1, which would shut off Pier, assuming that we fetch twice. Um, we're also dead to any instant that they can cast. I think we should cast the Burning Wish. Let's add 3 red.
Okay. Is that our first step this turn?
Yeah, I would definitely just start on casting Burning Wish. So we also haven't given our opponent a single Pyroblast target yet, by the way. So I'm sort of keeping that in the back of my head that they could realistically just have a Pyro in their hand.
Yeah, it's possible they could have a Pyroblast or a Stifle from the very beginning of the game still.
Yeah. We have not fetched at all.
Our opponent has only had this single manipulation spell, though. Wonder if
And
this.
we know that they open-handed the brainstorm as well because Delver has never flipped.
Mhm.
Are they considering stifling
I
this?
think so. But then it would just trigger in our second main phase instead. All right, that pitch is a daze. Opponent has one card left.
All right, so assuming that Delver flips, um,
7 damage.
so we would go to 2, which shuts off one of the fetch lands. Honestly, I would probably pass, and then next turn you get the mana off carpet to help with Echo.
Okay. Okay, so they did not have a click. Oh, they fetched it
Oh.
away!
Alright, so that means that they might have one in hand, though.
That was a roller coaster of emotion.
Alright.
So we get to use one of these fetch lands.
So carpet also makes 4 now, by the way. Ooh, that was a good
That
draw.
was
Ooh,
nice.
yeah.
All right, this makes
Alright.
blue.
Correct.
All
And
right.
I'd start on ritual, see if they'll counter it. Let's play out the artifacts. We don't want to redraw them. Like I know that, and I'm going to quote Noelrod here. They do nothing, but like we don't want to redraw them. They're free storm. Like it's a win-win.
All right.
Now it Veil. So this is using Veil as silence because if we put Echo on the stack and it just happens to resolve, it's not good for us. So here we're proactively protecting the Echo.
All right. Um,
Yeah. 7 mana floating. Um,
leave black floating.
Honestly, I'd leave the blue
Okay.
because we could always like let's say for somehow we get to flash it back. Like let's say we hit the burning wish into pulverize.
Oh no.
W-
Oh, come on.
That's a slow roll.
I also think there's literal no reason to do that, right? Like there's nothing that this deck would play that would punish that.
Yeah,
Just doing it on their turn. Oh well. All right. I see a hand with an ad nauseum and a bunch of mana. I want to keep this.
I'm in. So Phil, I know that last match we just went for it. We do have a brainstorm. We have that ability to sculpt.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably not jam on one. I know that may not be the popular opinion here, but if we can protect this ad nause, that's what I'd be looking to do.
Okay. So you just want a brainstorm pass? Or sorry, you just want a volcanic island pass?
I would.
Okay. I would have jammed, but I defer to your wisdom here for sure.
Well, I mean, if it would have resolved, you could put as your title Term One Kill Legacy Unstoppable, and then they'll see the first 2 rounds. All right, preordain.
That makes
Uh,
me think Sneak and Show or Omnitel or something of that ilk.
I would agree, especially after JPA 93's terrific PTQ win over this week. Or yeah, it was yesterday, Thursday.
All right. Is there any merit to end step brainstorm here?
I definitely would. Also, what is time under COVID life? All right, so Chromox is by far the worst card in this hand. I'd put that on the bottom,
Okay.
and then literally any other card on top.
So, what are your thoughts about going for the ad nauseum now that we have
So
a
it's likely going to get forced. That said, the only thing you're really putting into it is Dark Ritual. So if you go play out all of your stuff, add Nas because you can tap Opal and then to play your ritual, whatever. If you do this, the only thing you're losing is ritual nauseum, and you're going to have 5 mana after that. Or what you can do is you can just go after you play your diamond, Burning Wish for Thought Seize next turn, ritual ad nauseum, and Thought Seize would also disrupt them. But if they have a good top deck or something like that, it could certainly hurt you.
All right. What's the line?
I would probably Burning Wish for Thoughtseize. Um,
Okay.
just because like next turn you have to echo, and I don't really want to have to echo against Sneak and Show.
All right. Does it matter what I fetch for with Bloodstained Mire?
Nope. So Volk is really weird in this deck in that it doesn't have a partner. Like we don't play Bayou because Bayou doesn't allow you to cast Abrupt Decay.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna grab Underground Sea, I think.
Yep. Like the mana base is like carefully crafted. Volcanic is the worst land in the deck most likely, but it is a third mountain for Bulverize.
All right. It's a blue-red Delver deck, it looks like.
Okay. I'm good with passing. And we didn't get our Nas forced.
So, is there a world where I upkeep Ad Nauseam next turn for any reason?
So if you they likely have one more force negation in their deck.
Okay.
I think that you're just giving them an opportunity to like maybe burn you out. But let's see what our draw step is before making a decision. Like you could just draw that green card and then it wouldn't matter. Hmm. All right. I think I'm good with Swamp Pass. If they like try to end step Brainstorm, I might consider trying to resolve Ad Nauseam in response. Boom.
Do it.
Yeah. It reeked of a brainstorm. I could smell it all the way here in New York.
Oh, it's resolving.
All right. So keep in mind we will have to discard down to 7.
So there's 7. I assume we want to keep going from here.
Yeah, I'd probably do a few more. Okay.
Is this acceptable?
I think I'd stop here because I'm in my mind this is a pretty good new hand. And the worst case scenario, I mean, it's not very likely, but worst case scenario, we flip back. Oh, they have double bolt or bolt chain.
Yep.
All right, so we can discard. I'd probably get rid of the opal and the mire. Also, is there a reason that you use like Nicole Bolas as your avatar, Phil?
Not in particular. I have a whole bunch of avatars, and I just like haven't changed it since M19 came out, so it's been a few years.
I was just curious.
I might have to like actually, you know, look into doing something neat with it.
All right, so we're not really under that much pressure. I'd probably just lead on a ponder. Um, it doesn't really matter what we tap. Shufel.
Ponder
Panda.
again.
Yeah.
Are we basically just looking for a veil and then we win?
Veil grid. I'd shuffle that. We have enough of those.
All
All
right.
right. I'd play your Taiga here, and I'd probably tap Taiga, tap Swamp, play a Burning Wish. Deal.
Nice. I assume we can just call that a turn here.
Yeah. We're the control deck at the moment.
Yeah, our opponent doesn't have any clock, and while that's the case, we can chill.
Someone posted the data breakdown of the recent PTQ, and it was something like 30% of people were playing Buguro, which is really strange to me considering how I don't think that deck is that good. Not that it's like a bad deck, but like, yeah, the true name's certainly spicy. But if you asked me to name the top 5 decks in the format, I would not have said Buguro.
I agree.
All right. So, Phil, we're going to cast the card that you've never cast before,
I oh, you mean the pier? Okay, yeah.
the Veer.
All
All
right.
right. So, it's pretty free to lead on the grid.
Does it matter what I tap? Like these two.
Not really.
Yeah.
Let's go get a land out of her deck. Doesn't matter. Lines a diamond. Rite of flame. Burning wish. Hold priority. Peer into the abyss.
All right. I can just use my 2 red floating and then crack the LE, right?
Yep. LEDs. We do need 7 mana.
Oh, I
Oh,
was gonna
come
cast the
on.
card.
Come on.
That's
Boo.
that's fine.
Boo.
All right. So
Uh,
I assume we want carpets. Do we want 1 abrupt decay again?
yeah. So really, there's only a few board plans with this deck. It's like one of the nice things about playing the Epic Storm is like the deck is mapped in a way that like you pretty much board the same in most matchups.
Yeah, your sideboard guide that's on the website is broken into broad things like chalice decks, blue combo, non-blue combo, those sorts of things, and it makes it pretty easy to get a feel for what sort of plan you should be on, even if the specifics end up changing a tiny bit.
Yeah. I always do wonder about that because like I'll post a deck update like, "Hey, I'm trying this list with like this one card change," and then I'll have people message me like, "Do you have a sideboard guide?"
All right, this hand, is it okay since it has defense grid? It has no manipulation, it has a decent amount of mana, it has a payoff card. I am not excited by this, but I also feel like it could be a keep still.
This hand is bananas. I would definitely keep this.
All right.
I don't know. Like the way that I play TES, I think is the way that a lot of people think that amp players play. Like I don't know. I don't see the need to always try to jam early.
All right. Like Delta Pass here.
Yeah. Like my opponent's playing a 1/1 wizard. Why do I need to go off turn one?
Well, maybe this game the Delver will flip and we'll have a
How
reason.
funny would it be if it didn't though? Like let's say there was all brainstorm, nothing to flip it with.
They just have a hand of 7 fucking null rods.
Oh,
All right.
can't believe they wouldn't let you peer. That was very rude of them.
Oh, baby.
I would jam that cop it. I'd probably play up the pedal first. I mean, you could play Taiga first. That part doesn't matter. But this plays around spell pierce, which is something that I'm looking to do. It also plays around stifle days or day stifle. I mean, storm 3. So hypothetically, if this carpet resolves, they gave us the mana to play grid now.
God, Carpet is just fucking cheating. So
Well,
good.
you have Soul Ring now. Soul Ring with potential upside.
Yep. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah. We have Soul Ring.
It's a Soul Ring that will very likely get better over the course of this game.
Soul Ring that mana fixes. I should just be playing 4 of that card on my board.
Ooh,
Boo! That hurt.
that stings.
So, there's an awkward thing about the way that our deck is currently constructed, and that's that Burning Wish realistically only has 1 card on the board that, is good against Narset.
Grape shot.
Well, I was going to say MP, but Grape Shot is also, theoretically on that list. I would just play land pass. We could draw the One of Decay as well.
So if you don't mind me asking, ballpark, what's your win percentage with TES like in the current meta?
Right now, I'm at 61.5. That said, I was playing a lot of lists trying to find something that could get me up to 61.5. Um, so with the current list, which is 10.9, which is what we're playing
Oh
today,
baby.
wow, um, that's what I'm at. But previously, everything from I think 10.8 was the last list before the ban. Maybe it was 10.9. So you'll see that I went up about 10 deck versions. In that time period, I was like 53, 52, 54. Like I struggled a lot trying to find something I could win with. Um, when I'm running hot with the Epic Storm, I'm like 65, 66. So right now I'm little bit below average because I think my average is usually 62 or 63, but Stifle has certainly impacted my results a little bit. This league obviously isn't going super well for us, and that happens every once in a while.
Yeah. I also think it's nice to like temper people's expectations because a lot of people have this, idea that like the big legacy grinders are winning like 70% of their games all the time. And that's just not true for most people most of the time.
I'm going to say something that's not going to be very popular right now, Phil. One, a lot of people that post that stuff to Twitter are lying. Two, people often share very, very small sample sizes and act like it means something. Um, Fun fact for Phil's viewers, and I get to say this on Phil's channel because it's not my channel. I can look like a jerk right now. Is um, they're sharing these percentages that are 20 matches, and my deck is 76%. That's a 20 match sample. That is so small that it doesn't matter. I don't share my samples. One, like all my stuff is always live. I just don't share it to Twitter. But like if I did share that stuff, I wouldn't be sharing small samples. Like you really want to be above 75 matches to realistically, like 100 is a pretty good sample size. Like if you're 70% at 100 matches, let's talk. Like that's something to be bragging about. 20 matches, get out of here.
Yeah. I think we're going to be dead here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just to finish the thought while our opponent kills us. Most of the time when I was like actively grinding D&T and the meta was slightly unfavorable to D&T, I usually oscillated between about 63 and 64%. Um and when like D&T was good, it would be up a few percentage points from that, and it was exceedingly rare that I had anything over 100 matches that was like above like 65. I remember
I mean,
one time I had like 150 matches and I had a 72 or 73% win rate, but that was when I thought D&T was the best deck in the format and it wasn't close.
like I'm pretty sure when Miracles was banned, the average pilot for that deck was like 70%, and you had your Sam Rukuses of the world at 80. So that's like the sort of stuff that gets people decks banned. Like Anurag claimed at the time when he was running Breach that he was at like 80, 82%. Like that's the stuff that gets your deck banned. Anything above 75%, you're walking on the clouds. Like that is not a realistic win rate. Like let's just be honest. Tom Hepp has said the same thing. If you're above 70, there's no way that's going to be sustainable. Like you will fall.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
65, I think, is a very, very good win percentage.
Agreed.
These people on Twitter, if they're saying that that's not good, they're lying. And I think a lot of people that say stuff like that don't actually track their results because if you're not tracking, you think you win more than you actually do.
Oh yeah. All right.
Because like you'll forget leagues like this where you start off, not doing that well.
Yes, in this 2 week span, I won 80% of my games. What happened before that? Well, I'm not counting the ones before that.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want like another decay or anything now that we know our opponent has Narset, or do we just like run back the same plan?
So the question is, what would you want to board out?
A
It's
Chrome
either
Mox.
Chromox is actually really important here. I think it would actually be an opal if you do want to board in the decay. I don't blame you if you want to do that. I
Well,
think
what
it's
what would
fine.
you do?
I would resubmit.
Then we'll do that. I I may be like fixating too much on the card that like just beat us there.
This seems great.
Oh,
Like I just don't let that stuff get to me. Just because there's so often that like decay, like we haven't had it happen yet. But there's games where you're rotting with decay in your hand. You're like, oh, I could really use that mana right now.
so this just has to get Taiga to cast the carpet.
Correct.
Do we do that now?
I would. Plays her own days. There's a lot of discussion going on Twitter yesterday about whether or not days should be in the format, and it's the format's Mishra's workshop, and I thought that was an interesting discussion.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it on the podcast a couple of times. Like the card's very good.
Yeah, I just don't even know if it's on the radar of the people looking at the BNR.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm personally quite happy with where Legacy is at right now.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying the games a lot.
that was a good draw.
Oh,
So here we can try to catch our opponent in a trap.
okay.
We can go. Um, let's start off by let's just add black mana. We can go Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Chromox, and print Tendrils. So now what we can do is we're going to cast Burning Wish and add 3 blue, but we want to leave up Lotus Petal. So if they force Burning Wish, we echo, and if Burning Wish resolves, we empty.
Okay. So I Burning Wish, hold priority, crack for triple blue, leaving these two mana sources available.
Correct.
All right.
Technically, I gave you some bad advice here. It would have been better to add a red with the carpet because we'd have an extra, we could tap the Chromox.
All
All
right.
right, now we echo. So it didn't end up mattering. But theoretically it could have. Long pause here.
You think that means something like a daze? Oh, a surgical.
Well, they just punted.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, if they have a surgical, they could get
We
us.
can't win. We imprinted our tendrils. Oh,
This is yeah. Uh, they did take
wow.
all for.
All right, I am now rooting for us to go 05.
Wow, that. Yeah, just literal no outs, right?
Maybe that's why they were thinking for so long. Maybe they were like, "Hey, they imprinted the tendrils. Let's get them." Okay, well, they definitely punted because there's no reason to ever allow Echo to resolve.
Wow. Well, they've punted, but we're still dead.
Yeah,
All right, just concede.
yeah.
All
Unfortunately,
right,
oh,
that one's a
gross.
feel bad. Okay, we're on the draw this time. Our opponent has mulliganed already. I think this is a keep.
This gets to do one of my favorite things with the Epic Storm Phil, other than start off O3. I love doing that. But you get to go Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Mox Opal, cast Brainstorm, and then fetch on the first turn.
Oh baby, those are rare. That doesn't happen very often. What do you think? 100% chance of fourth blue deck in a row?
I mean, if Alex McKinley were on this call, he'd tell you those are the decks he wants to face.
Oh,
Well, the field of the dead decks are either lands or the new blue deck.
all right.
So you're doing something that we actively, I mean, I don't blame you, Phil. We talk about not doing when you play this deck, which is give the opponent a reason to forcible Lion's Eye Diamond. We do have two of them right now, so it's not the end of the world if that did happen. But usually you don't want to give them incentive. And
Uh,
ooh, I think we should try to peanut butter and jam.
okay. Just put back land here and go.
Um, we can actually do the Chromax. Well, so the everyone's in for a treat right now. We get to do the Chromax trick too. I would put back land.
Okay.
This is going to be beautiful. We're just going to pretend our opponent doesn't have it.
Okay.
All right. Uh, Lotus Petal Diamond.
So what do you mean the Chrome Mox trick? Just playing it for Storm?
Nope. We're going to go Red Flame and then Wish Claw. Do we just have lethal? I hope not. Wish Claw. I think we do. I think we just have lethal. This sucks. All right, we're still going to show the crowd what the trick is. Oh, I hate having a lethal storm.
Oh, okay. I think I figured it out. So is the idea you cast Chrome Mox, hold priority, activate Wishclaw Talisman, double crack LED, cast Adnaz, and then you can imprint something on Chrome Mox afterwards?
Correct. So you can either do it with Chromox on the stack, or you can do it with the imprint trigger on the stack. Either work.
Okay. But we just get
Here you can just
tentacles,
play it
right?
for. Well, you want to play the Chromox because
Oh yeah,
that
that's
gives you
the storm count.
the crucial ninth storm, and then 10 Ds is what you get with the Wish Claw. Where we're going, we don't need lands.
All right.
Boom. All right. So we need to lose the next two so that way we 05 this league.
All right, sounds good.
All
So
right.
I
So
think it's probably more likely that this is one of the Primeval Titan ramp decks, but it could be that like I'm bigger than the other blue decks Field of the Dead deck too.
it could also be lands. That said, our board plan here works across the field. Like I said before, we really only have two board plans. So I would be boarding in Thoughtseize and Abrupt Decay. But this time I would leave two grid and then leave one Thoughtseize in the board. That just helps you hedge a little bit for Mind Break.
All right, so
So
two
this way you have a.
Thoughtseize, two Decays. Are we cutting the Rite of Flames? What are we doing for cuts?
I would take out Veil.
Oh, for Veils. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm,
We don't know that that card actually does anything currently.
correct. Um, but assuming that it's like a Primeval Titan ramp deck and they're not playing blue, Veil's dead. And like I said previously, leaving one Thoughtseize in the board gives you Burning Wish for Thoughtseize to beat Mindbreak.
All right, is this a mulligan?
Yeah. I mean, this is like that's a trap hand.
Uh,
Uh, I think we're supposed to ship it.
yikes. Okay, I agree with you.
Okay. Um, I would keep. I want to know what you would bottom.
Um, I'd bottom Decay Echo.
I disagree.
I knew
Burning
you
Wish
would.
Burning Wish, like, the best thing you can actually get with it is Echo. Like, you're so far away from Pier.
Okay.
So and, like, you can't empty against the deck that probably has Tabernacle on it. So if I'm looking to echo this game, the Dark Ritual, I don't think has a lot of value because 'cause we're just looking to draw the lines that I'm in. So Burning Wish helps you, with that, but also helps you find land number 3 if you need to cast this Decay. So I would bottom Burning Wish, Dark Ritual.
Okay.
Alright, so they're one of the blue ones, which is still fine. We have 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Grid in our deck. And it turns out our 7 probably would have been fine.
So what cards might we care about here? Like Hull Breacher, Leovold, the counter magic.
I haven't seen Hull Breacher out of, these style decks. That said, it could be in there. I think mostly they have a lot of counter spells, we're gonna have to fight through those.
Do we want to brainstorm or just
I
wait?
just let go.
Yeah.
Like, this deck is painfully slow. Painfully slow. You can just sit here and take your draw steps. It's like, thawing glaciers.
Yeah. I mean, we expect to get hit by like Baleful Strix and friends.
Sure.
This is definitely one of the slower paced TES leagues I've played.
Well, the deck changed a lot when it switched to Wishclaw Talisman, um, for what it's worth. Like, it's not a turn 2 make goblins deck anymore. Like, you're going for deterministic kills or or very probable kills. You're looking for backup and protection. The deck morphed quite a bit. I'd just go Volk Go. Like, I just want to get as many looks as I can before I actually need to do something.
Oh no. Oh, it's not a clock. It's a growth spiral. That didn't even put a land into play, right? Yeah. All right. That means opponent's hand is full of gas, though.
Yeah. We did punk them in game 1, killing them by not respecting their blue cards. Sure. Nice.
Now do we brainstorm?
Letting go. Keeping the plan.
Yeah. We haven't cast a spell yet. It's turn 6.
Why do we need to cast spells, Phil?
I don't know. We could win or something.
Why can't we just enjoy the scenery?
I do really commend your patience, though. Like, you have a clear plan about, like, how we should be playing and what we should do.
All right, now I would cast Brainstorm. We've drawn a card that we don't want. And we have a shuffle effect. Okay. So here I'd put back the 2 Moxen.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're not anywhere near Metalcraft.
Yep. Play your land. And honestly, we have 2 more fetchables left in the deck. They are
Swamp.
Sea and
See?
Swamp. Yep. So I'd fetch Sea here, cast Brainstorm. Nice. All right. I would put back Meyer and Phil. This might sound crazy. Our opponent hasn't given us anything to decay yet.
All
We
right.
could put that back, or you could put back Pedal.
So this Uro comes back next turn. Is this the sort of deck that answers an Uro if it gets into play?
Based on our draw, we're probably going to have to.
Okay.
So maybe it's the pedal, and
Pedal.
then we can just decay the euro.
All right.
And unfortunately, I would love to just fetch cantrip here,
We can't.
but we can't.
Literally can't.
So the way that the Epic Storm is built, you have three of your main colors. You have three blue, three black, three red, and then you have two green.
Our opponent can also have access to, I guess, Pyroblast. This is the red Triome.
Well, they do play Omnath, the legacy staple. Are you familiar with Omnath, Phil?
Roughly. I know if you play a bunch of lands the same turn as it, people end up dead.
That is the gist of it. So I'd probably decay on the end step, save some manas.
Yeah, I know it's some combination of like fetching gives you mana or damage, and maybe you gain some life in there somewhere. I've never actually had to know what that card does.
All right. So here's an interesting thought. We really don't want this Chromox in our hand at the moment. That said, we don't have any more fetch lands that do anything. So we can brainstorm and then ponder, or we can just lead on ponder and try to find the best cards we can.
My inclination tells me to brainstorm. What does yours tell you? Because you're practiced.
Honestly, I'd probably brainstorm first, but a lot of legacy specialists would tell you, like, but you see fewer cards this way. I don't think a particular card wins this game. I think more quality cards does. All right. So, like I said previously, this fetch land doesn't do anything. The
I guess
Chromox is
Chrome
kind of
Mox and
poopy.
Verdant.
Yeah. And then Panda. It's also kind of shocking. It's turn 7. We have not seen a Lion's Eye Diamond yet. I'd shuffle. We just can't afford to redraw those.
All right. Do we defense grid now?
I would pass.
Yep. Do you want to
So if
play
we,
defense grid the same turn you try to go off?
yeah, because I feel like there's a pretty high chance that it just gets destroyed.
That's fair. Like, Wilt is the sort of card that I might expect from our opponent here.
We have not given them anything to destroy yet.
They also just, like, haven't done much. I
Like I said,
mean,
this deck is
like,
slow. Unfortunately, we boarded out our veils, thinking that they might have been on lands.
we still have two Thought Seizes we boarded in. Yeah.
Two Thought Season and a grid.
Oh, God, what is this? Oh,
It's prime time.
so I have seen these decks have all sorts of weird ass packages for Primeval Titan. I've seen the Depth Stage. I've seen like Bog Caracas. I've seen. All right. We bit of pressure.
All right, let's see what we can draw here. Okay. I think I'd probably lead on like Petal Ritual.
Okay.
I have a feeling that our opponent probably has double force, but we can't do a whole lot about that anyway. And then I play Grid. Tamio,
Is that the
really?
green one? All right.
That's spicy. All right, so they probably have a bog in their deck, like you said. So you could try to hardcast Echo and like grind, but I don't think that's a winning game plan.
All right.
So what I would do here is I would Wish Claw. Well, one Wish Claw might eat a force anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd play Wish Claw, and if it resolves, I would just go get a diamond and flash back.
All right.
Yeah. So a nice thing about this fill is hypothetically, if our Echo resolves, we have lands in our deck that we can fetch again.
Oh, baby. What a luxury.
I mean, we did sideboard incorrect. I don't want to say incorrectly, not for this matchup.
Oh, no.
Surgical. It's a surgical.
That's. Oh, nope. It's a force of negation.
Uh sad.
All right. Well,
There's always game three.
yeah, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I don't think we win with an ad nause off the top here. I uh,
Uh,
I don't think it's likely.
I've killed Ad Nauseam, or I've killed Jarvis once while he was streaming from 4 Life. It was like LED pedal, Rite of Flame, Burning Wish. What is this?
Okay, that's fair.
So close. So
Fair.
close. Kind of surprised they didn't waste you there. All right,
I'm
so let's
guessing
reboard.
honestly they just forgot, or were like, ah, this one's over.
Um,
So
well, we definitely want veils
we
and
have veils and
carpets.
carpets that we can be thinking
Yeah,
about.
I would bring the veils and carpets in. I'd take the
This
thought seizes out. I'd board out Rite of Flames.
okay. So Thoughtseize out, Rite of Flames out. How many decays do we want, if any?
That's a tough call. Like I've seen Canonist out of this deck before, which is a concern. So we
If
have one to shave here. I'd probably take out an opal.
okay,
So this is a disagreement I have with Alex McKinley, and that Alex tends to like opal a little bit more against the slow blue decks. And I do agree that it's in a vacuum more powerful. That said, I really like winning when I resolve my ad nauseum, and opal requires support where Chromox can get you off the ground more often. Like if you have a bad ad nauseum, Chromox is more likely to bail you out.
okay, that makes sense to me. All right,
So
are we good with submitting this?
I am. It's like we're arguing the half percentage of a game.
Damn it!
Come on, Doc. Okay, this is honestly a fine hand.
Pitch decay.
Yeah. I was going to say it's the ballsy move, but it's the move that I would do.
Yep.
And just land go.
I just think we need all three of the artifacts here, for Metalcraft reasons, and we can't pitch the payoff card, so that leaves decay as the odd man out.
Odd person.
That's fair.
All right. So we have a few pretty good draws here. Like I would love a Lotus Petal. Um, Claw's good. I think I would jam Claw to see if it resolves because I don't want Grid to get countered.
Okay.
We're looking to pair Underground Sea and Taiga.
Ooh.
Ship it. On the off chance that they have like Force of Vigor, it's not worth pulling out your artifacts.
God,
I
you
am
look
so
so
smart and
smart.
thin. So smart and thin. All right. So land would be good here. Or another grid. Hell yeah.
Love it.
So the reason I said a land would be good there is assuming that this grid resolves, you could go LED, Opal, land, Burning Wish Echo. But instead, next turn we get to play another defense grid.
Cameo is proving so good. It's pitched to Force of Will twice.
It is the alternate mode on every blue card.
Yep.
That's why blue cards are so good.
I I am not
I th-
sure why this card has been picking up so much in play. This is the
I
third time I've seen it in the last like 2 weeks.
I think that if you had splurged for the black border defense grids, that one would have resolved.
You're probably right. This
I
defense
would
grid now?
actually play
Or the Wish
Claw
Claw
again.
again? Just because this defense grid is so important for us actually winning the game.
Well, if like right now the plan is Echo, that plan could always change, but grid gets a lot better if the plan is Echo. Land drops.
Okay. So is this Verdant Catacombs then defense grid?
Yeah. So it's worth noting our opponent does have 3 lands up for grid now. They could counter it, or they could just let it resolve and try to get us. So what I would be looking to do is we've already seen one Force of Vigor, so now we have to make a decision. Um, I would probably this is what I would do. I would go LED, Opal. Actually, let's fetch first. Or it doesn't really matter. We probably lose this match to grid regardless.
Okay.
But I'd be looking at Burning Wish and then probably um, get Thoughtseize
Okay. The
because
fetch
then the next
now.
turn, yep, next turn that would give us the ability to Thoughtseize into ad nauseum. The other line that you could do is go get Echo, and then if they try to force your Echo next turn, you Veil.
Doesn't
Um,
matter which land I grab.
Not really,
I want a
but
Burning
I think I
Wish.
like. Yeah, I think I like the Thoughtseize line here because if they want to Veil you next turn, they have to tap 4 lands, and then your ad nauseum resolves anyway. It's just like I'm thinking a step or two ahead.
Yeah, I can tell you I would have played this game 10,000 different ways and never come up with the lines that we're doing right now. I would have
So
been so much more aggressive, and I probably would have lost because of it.
some of the Storm crew they refer to TES as City's Blessing Storm now because you get so many permanents in play. Like you just play the deck a little bit more slowly than you used to, and like you can really bully blue decks. Like these like blue control decks. These are the decks that TES preys on. You might not have seen it in game 2 because we boarded wrong, but like if I could get paired against this deck 15 out of 15 rounds for a Grand Prix, I would top 8 a majority of the time.
Yeah, and you probably have enough data to, back up those claims.
Yeah, like you just love facing these blue decks. All right, so if our opponent plays a Force of Vigor, well, they didn't. We could upkeep, activate Claw, but let's just jam this Thoughtseize. And honestly, if it gets veiled, I'm fine with that. Ooh, it's happening. The sickening. I am smart and thin.
Okay, so what do we want to do here?
Let it resolve, and then we're gonna cast Ad Nauseum.
Okay.
So when your opponent doesn't have, let's tap our Opal and Sacrality.
Okay.
Um, when our opponent doesn't have a Meddling Mage on Burning Wish, the Epic Storm has the ability of winning via Grape Shot, which is what we're looking to do here. So we still have a land drop, 17 life. And we do have 4 green Cabal rituals in our deck. I'm sorry, 3 green Cabal rituals in our deck.
I assume we're getting close.
I mean, you're free to flip until you get to 6. Like, there's no reason to even consider stopping. All right, so there you can stop. Unfortunately, we did not hit any green Cabal rituals,
Okay.
but here we just need to ramp into 15 spells now. Um, I would personally just play out my artifacts
Okay.
and then cast Brainstorm to start because that gives you more information on the line that you need to take, while also possibly increasing your storm count. What I like doing when I have a bunch of cards in hand and I need to find a way to do stuff, I like doing the free stuff first, which is play out your petals, play out your opals, because like in order to win, you're going to need to do that anyway. So it just gives you a little bit of clarity on what you should do. All right. So we can just put back 2 lands here. Play your land for turn.
Guess it doesn't really matter here.
Yeah.
We'll get the second black.
All right. So
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
um, we've used 1 Burning Wish, correct?
Oh, I guess it'd be here. Yeah.
Okay. Um, we might have just made a subtle play mistake. Maybe we should have put back 1 Burning Wish, because here we could cast the card you haven't cast yet, but there's only 1 Burning Wish left in the deck to kill them with.
I see.
Um, that said, we can probably find a line that wins without it. So, uh, Dark Ritual, I'm just talking out loud. But you can play the diamond, that's fine. So Dark Ritual would be Storm 10, Claw would be Storm 11. Let's say we get a Brainstorm, that would be Storm 12, Burning Wish would be Storm 13, Grave Shot would be Storm 14, and then you could probably Veil. So let's do that. Let's go get a let's just Ritual Claw here, and then we can make sure that the mana works after. Um, so the Brainstorm line, I think, is 1 short, or a color short. So we go get Brainstorm, we select the petal, that would be Storm 12. Hmm. Maybe we're supposed to go get Ponder. Yeah, I think we're supposed to go get Ponder.
Okay. So I don't crack the LED, right?
No. Because Ponder gives you an extra look, which is why you would choose it over Brainstorm. Brainstorm can give you 3 quality cards, but honestly, we just need 1. So you take the card that gives you the better odds.
Um
That was awkward. uh, we're 1 storm short. Wow.
uh,
Honestly, I think we just take the Echo.
okay. Do we cast it?
Yeah. So I also realized that we might have just misplayed. Instead of getting the Ponder, I guess we could have gotten the Carpet, and then Carpet
Oh shit.
Veil.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll just win off Echo. Let's not worry about it.
All right. So just crack now for blue and
Yeah.
cast it.
Yep. That's my fault, Phil. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Everyone can make novice mistakes like that from time to time. Oh,
All right. Well, we drew
oh.
the Green Cabal Ritual. I think that we've got it from here.
Go to second main and make black.
Um, yes, because we have red from the two petals. So bad news, Phil.
Hmm.
Assuming that you don't misclick or misplay, which could still happen. I don't want to leave that out. Um, we will not 05 this league.
That's okay. All right. So I just get a burning wish here, and then I get grape shot, right?
Correct. And the misplay there was getting Ponder because we just needed to be able to cast another spell. If we got Carpet there, we would have been able to do that easily. So we just introduced some risk that we didn't need to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you play these decks for years and years and years, you can start to find these like little edges that really help you win. But a lot of times, unless you're really stopping and analyzing things very carefully, like you might just be playing and then you realize, like, oh, I should have gone more slowly because there was a better line. I just didn't think of it. And that's why I
Yeah,
think a lot of the puzzles that you do for your website are really helpful for people.
definitely. Well, one in the books, Phil. One in the books.
All right, now we can play for some play points. All right, for round 5 here, we're on the draw. My opponent has mulliganed already. This hand looks fine to me.
Yeah, I cube this.
Bryant has already had the soul read that our opponent might be on Chalice. We'll see if he's right.
I feel like I've played against this person in the past and they were on Chalice, but who knows? I'm getting old. I might just be losing my brain.
Well, yeah, for sure, but you still might be right. Our opponent is thinking really hard about this 6, so they might have a problematic hand of some nature. Chalice becomes less likely.
You never. They could be 4-color alone. You don't know.
I don't. They're having to think about their land drop. Okay.
Gak. This is one of our best matchups, by the way. All right, so we have a turn to peer into the abyss as long as we don't mess up. So one of the best things that we can actually do here is just play a fetch land and then our artifacts and pass. This
Okay.
way we can protect Burning Wish with Brainstorm.
Seems good.
Gak.
Notably, if this was a different matchup, this was a time that we could actually make goblins on turn 1.
Or you could peer straight into that abyss.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to cast that card.
All right, so if our opponent had a Cabal Therapy on that mill, things could have gotten interesting. Because they could then target us with Stitcher Supplier on Therapy, and if we hid Burning Wish, they could then mill us.
Oh god, that would have been sexy. I would have enjoyed that.
That would make one of us, Phil. I hate that Vengevine art. Like, that's not a Vengevine to me.
I prefer the old art as well.
Like, to me, that looks like someone gave a plant steroids.
That's Roidvine.
Exactly. It doesn't seem very vengeful. So Phil, while we're killing our opponent, um, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So, as a Death and Taxes pilot, what percentage of the format, or I guess you don't need to end step brainstorm here, but I would. Like, it's free in case you hit like a ritual or something.
Okay.
What percentage of the format would have to be Storm combo before you quit playing Mindbreak Trap? Like, how low would I have to get?
Um, Honestly, not too much lower than what it's at now. Like the combination of like Ant plus TES plus I guess technically Oops, like that together makes Mindbreak Trap a fine sideboard card, but I am really not excited to play Mindbreak Trap. Kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I guess I need this right now.
Okay.
If I was seriously grinding Death and Taxes right now, I would be trying things that a lot of people aren't. Like, I think Doomsday is a problem, and I think like Hushbringer or Tocatl Honor Guard or something of that nature is a potential solution that I haven't seen people mess around with enough. And I think there's a couple other changes that people could make, but don't have the time.
All right. Let's resolve this
We
brainstorm.
just get an Underground Sea.
Um, yep. So, one of the interesting things that I think is that if you combine Ant and TES, we're still not casting that ad nauseum. Just put that on the bottom.
Okay.
Uh, we're going to cast Pier with a bunch of mana floating. And if you want to, we can cast ad nauseum after Pier. Uh,
Okay.
but realistically, those two decks combined are 2% of the meta at the moment. Like Death and Taxes is still playing Mindbreak for a 2% matchup. Like it's just so small. Like the two Storm combo decks have not been doing well. Um, it's been showing a lot in the challenge and PTQ data. So I've just been wondering because I'm still getting hit by Mindbreak Trap a lot, and like we haven't yet this league, but I'm seeing quite a few mind breaks still, and I'm like wondering like how are they still playing this when we're barely a part of the metagame?
Yeah, I want answers to Doomsday more than I want answers to Storm. Like I'm
Yeah.
much more afraid of Doomsday than Storm. All right, so play Taiga, Burning Wish, hold priority, crack LED for a billion D black. I guess I
Well,
can
we're
cast
gonna
my Dark Rituals first.
yeah, let's do that.
All right, do I crack both LEDs here?
Yup.
All right,
I'd probably do red black. Or I'm sorry, red blue.
all right. Red, blue. Yes. All right,
We're
we've made it.
doing it. Let's go
So
straight into the abyss. Do not target your opponent.
that would
I've
be
done it
bad.
once on accident.
All right. What do I want
Dealer's
more of?
choice.
Floating the blue?
Doesn't matter.
I guess I can leave one of everything.
Like I've said, it fails one in every 1,500 matches.
Okay.
Like most of the time you just draw your entire deck like this. Like you just
This
drew
is so many
25
cards.
cards.
Yeah. I assume I don't even need to think about this. I can just click on random cards and my opponent will die.
Yep. That's exactly how it is. Like so uh sometimes when we're on group calls, people will complain that we're showboating and it's like, why not cast all your mana free? Your hand's so large anyway that like casting your artifacts and your rituals is just like, why not?
All right. Our storm count is 13. I guess I can just burning wish for a tendrils and
Yeah.
we can go to the next game.
Or or you could add nauseum and see if you could draw more cards.
That is tempting.
So alternative line right now.
Uh-huh.
What you can do is you can tendrils your opponent down to 2 and then target yourself with the rest, and then cast ad nauseum to draw the rest of your deck.
Drawing cards is great.
Like we just drew 25 cards right there. When was the last time Miracles drew 25 cards?
In one
In the,
turn? Never.
even in the course of a game. I mean, not counting draw steps, that is.
All right. So what do you care about from your opponent's side? Like,
Absolutely nothing.
okay.
The truth is, realistically, they probably have Leyline of the Void, and our deck doesn't play answers anymore. So the best thing you can do is just like board in two Thoughtseize. They double down for like discarding altar or just imprinting on a Chromometry block.
All right, what comes out?
Grid.
Okay.
Like the GAC decks tend to not play any interaction. So like there's this thing that we don't talk about with TES, which is the fact that Defense Grid and Veil have bad synergy if you're looking to use Veil defensively. So we're getting rid of that. And
Yep.
this hand is a turn one Nas.
Womp, womp, womp,
Oh,
womp.
they just don't want us to have nice things. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll discard the brainstorm.
Uh, I mean, weirder things have happened.
Damn. All right. So I think we should do the line that we discussed previously, which is play your brainstorm and then fetch. Because I don't think we want this Rite of Flame anymore, most likely.
Uh,
Okay.
Opal Rite of Flame go back.
Yep. And then I would play out your diamond.
Do I want to ponder this turn?
I would.
See?
Sure. If we find Burning Wish here, I think we just have lethal. Show me potato salad.
All right.
So here we get to do a pretty cool trick. I mean, I guess we have lethal, so we don't even need to do it.
Okay.
But if we wanted to, we hypothetically, you could keep Burning Wish in the pile. You could go Dark Ritual, Ponder in response sack LED for 3 red. Draw your Burning Wish tendrils in case you needed to deal 10. We don't.
Okay, so I'll
But
just draw the Burning Wish then.
yeah, because Ritual is 7, Burning Wish is 8, tendrils is 9. Imagine casting Thoughtseize on turn 1 and then just dying, Phil.
That is rough. Oh wait, hold on. What did I just
Are
do?
you holding priority?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I held priority.
Well, we want to hold priority
Yeah.
because if you don't, you don't get to sack the LED.
Your opponent. Thank you for casting Thoughtseize.
Big fan. Love Phil.
We have gotten the GGs from the opponent.
And unfortunately, we still did not 05 this league.
Yeah, I mean, we got half my play points back. I'll take that. All right. Overall, I liked the list that we were playing. Like, our results weren't the greatest tonight, but I really did like the access to the Carpet of Flowers out of the sideboard. Peer into the Abyss is a really cool option. We didn't showcase it a ton, but like when we did, like, oh baby, it was good.
Yeah. So, Phil, something that I'm actually really looking forward to that's right around the corner is Witherbloom Command. I cannot wait to test that card. I think it's going to be insanely good.
Okay, so we've talked about this on the podcast, but for anyone who's watching the YouTube video who didn't hear that, like, what does that card give you access to that you don't have access to now?
Well, against those dirty Thalia decks, if they go turn 1 Aether Vial or Deafening Silence into Thalia, Witherbloom Command has the mode of destroy a permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less, and target creature gets -2, -1. So you'll be able to get both. The other modes read target player mills 3, and you can return a land from your graveyard to your hand. And the last mode is a single copy of Tendrils of Agony. Target player loses 2, and you gain 2.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome tool to add to the toolbox. Bryant, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun. It was fun bullying people, and we showed off some really cool lines, I think. If the people enjoyed this content and they want to find you, remind them where to find you.
You can go to the Epic Storm Twitter. Or, I'm sorry. I guess you could also go there, but the Epic Storm YouTube channel. My Twitter is Bryant A. Cook, and theepicstorm.com will have all the social links on it as well. So if you want to support my content, go to theepicstream.com. There's 7 channels. Make sure to follow all of them.
All right. So for everyone who watched this, I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed and you made it this far, please consider throwing me a like and a comment. That sort of stuff helps out with the algorithm a lot and helps to get more eyes on my legacy content. Have a great rest of the day.